A very cheerful morning to all my dear students. I welcome you all to online classes. First of all, I would like to congratulate you for scoring good marks in midterm examination, especially to those students those who attempted and those who did not attempt midterm examination. It's a request to be serious for your studies and start working hard on it. With the same refreshment and enthusiasm, I welcome you all for the second term online classes. I hope you all are eagerly waiting for the second term. So let's start today's session. We are going to start chapter 18 from literature, The Wrong House. And this is a very interesting story. So let's read what happened in the wrong house. So let's start chapter number 18, The Wrong House. The night was dark and the house was dark and silent. Two men ran towards it quietly. Dark bushes surrounded the house. So, I hope you got an idea. This is the story in which we are going to study about the two thieves who entered into the house. And how this house proved to be a wrong house, let's find out. That I will not disclose it. So, what happened? The night was dark and the house was also dark and silent. That means nobody was there in the house. The owner of the house was not there. Two men ran towards the house. Two men, as you see in the picture, two men, one is having a briefcase and other is following his partner, and they ran towards the house. Dark bushes surrounded the house. Two men crouched low and slipped through the bushes. They reached the porch on tiptoe. They stopped there a little and then ran up the steps quickly. The front door was locked. They knelt down by the door. Both of them were breathing heavily. They looked carefully in the dark shadows and listened. There was silence, perfect silence all around. Then, kneeling in the dark, one of them whispered, "We can't stay out here. Take this briefcase. Let me try the keys I have. We have got to get in somehow." He tried with one key after the other, 10, 20, 30 seconds. Then, with one of the keys, he was able to open the door. Silently, the two men entered the house. They closed the door behind them and locked it. They discussed the situation in low, whispering tones. So, what happened? The two men, as I told you, the name of the two men mentioned in the story is Hasty and Blackie. The name of the two men was Hasty and Blackie. So the two men crouched low and slipped through the bushes. Crouched means lowered the body by bending the knees. When we do exercise during morning assembly, we bend our knees so as to lower our body. That is the meaning of crouched. So the two men, what they do, they lowered their body by bending the knees and they slipped through the bushes as they were trying to enter the house. So they reached the porch. Porch is the entrance of the house. Entrance of the house which is covered by a shed. So they reached the porch on tiptoe. Suddenly, they stopped there a little and then ran up the steps quickly. And what did they saw? The front door was locked. Obviously, if we are going to uh, go somewhere, we are going to lock our main door, that is our front door, right? So similarly, when they went there, when they reached the porch, as I told you, the entrance of the front door, which is covered by a shed, when they reached that porch, the front door was locked. So Hasty and Blackie, they had full arrangement for opening the house. They had their keys, bunch of keys, and they tried the keys to open the door. So what happened? So when they reached the porch, they found that the main door was locked, and they knelt down, they bent down towards the door. Both of them were nervous also, as they were breathing heavily. They looked here and there as if nobody was coming from bushes, and there was a silence, perfect silence. And as per their plan, they are having one briefcase, right? And also they are having bunch of keys so as to open the lock of the front door. So both of them tried. After 10, 20, 30 seconds, one of them was able to open the door. They entered the house, locked the door, and started discussing about their plans. Now let's see what was their plan. Let's have a look around. First of all, for their security, they visit when they entered the house, they search for as if somebody was there or not, for their security, right? So one of them said, let's have a look around. Be careful, Hasty. As I told you, Hasty was was the name of one of the thief. So Blackie, if he was warning Hasty, that means who is warning Hasty? Blackie. So Blackie said, be careful, Hasty. Oh, there is not anybody in. Hasty said, there is nobody here, so you can relax. And with the rays of a torch, they surveyed the room. As they were having the torch, they surveyed and they searched for anybody. They found nobody in the home and they were relaxed. It was a large room, a living room. Rugs had been carefully rolled and piled on one side. The furniture, chairs, tables, couches lay covered with sheets. A thick layer of dust lay like snow over everything. So what happened? It was a large room where they entered, and that was the living room. And what did they observe? That rugs. What do you mean by rug? A piece of thick material used to cover the floor. Rug is a thick material which we use to cover the floors, right? And the furnitures also, furniture was also covered with sheets, and a thick layer of dust is lying over the furniture, lying on everything. So Hasty said, well, Blackie, said the man with the torch. So who is having the torch? Hasty is having the torch. So what did he say to Blackie? We are in luck today. It seems the family is away. Now, when they surveyed the whole house, they found nobody in the house. So, according to them, they were in the search of their house. They were in the search of a house where nobody was there, and finally, it was their fortune that it was their fortunate. They were fortunate that nobody was there at home. So Hasty said to Blackie that we are in luck today that nobody is there in the home. Yeah, away on holiday, I think. However, we had better made sure, be very careful, Hasty. So again, Blackie warns Hasty to be careful as he instructed his friend that, yeah, maybe they were on holiday, but let it be. Again, we should make sure that nobody is there in the home. So again, he said, be careful, hasty. Together, they searched the house. They went on tiptoe through every room. So, again, on listening to Blackie, Hasty and Blackie, they surveyed whole house. They surveyed each and every room and they found nobody. The family was away. There could be no doubt it had been away for weeks. What a stroke of luck! What a stroke! Stroke is an event, as they were very fortunate that they found a house finally where nobody was there. Everybody has gone out for a vacation. So, according to them, they surveyed each and every room, they surveyed whole house and they found nobody. So that's why they were thinking it was their luck on that day that they found a lonely house where they could spend their night. Truly, they were in luck, both Hasty and Blackie. Only once in the past 10 days had their luck failed them. It had been with them when they made their big robbery, a truly great robbery in a bank. It had been with them during their 1,000-mile trip by car on the hills. It had been with them every moment but one. Now, as they were feeling that they were fortunate that they found a house that nobody was there, they were actually thankful to God. They were very lucky. Now, what happened in the past 10 days? Their luck failed them. What happened actually? See, they robbed a bank. They had done a big robbery, especially where? In a bank. So, what happened there? Where they were, when they robbed that bank, they had traveled by a car, right? So, and that moment had come just 1 hour before. It came when Blackie was driving the car and he ran it over a policeman. Thinking of briefcase and Hasty's fate, he put his car in top gear and drove away as fast as he could. There was a chase, of course, a hot and wild chase. Their car was fired at. A bullet punctured one of its tires, and they had to abandon the car and run for their life. Now they were here, luck or no luck, in a completely strange town, alone and without a car, but safe and sound with the briefcase. It lay on a table in the center of the room. In it, there were nearly $300,000. They were tastefully arranged in neat little packets. So, what happened? As we were discussing about their luck, Hasty and Blackie, they were fortunate that they found a house where there was nobody, right? But what happened past 10 days before, and what actually happened, that they were in a strange town. Actually, they robbed a bank, right? They robbed a bank, and from the bank they stole $300,000. They robbed $300,000, and that was in their briefcase. So what happened? They were on their car, right? And when Blackie was driving the car, he ran it over a policeman. He ran it over a policeman, and after that, what? During they got nervous and thinking about the briefcase they were having that contains $300,000 that had been stolen from the bank. He got nervous and he put the car in top gear and drove the car as fast as he could. Immediately, police followed them, and during that chasing, the car was fired by the policeman. A bullet punctured one of its tires, and they had to leave their car. Abandon means to leave. They had to leave as the one of the tire got punctured by the bullet of police. They had to leave their car and run for their life. And after that, the moment is there, they are in a strange town with a briefcase and in a strange town. Right. And now we are just reading that they are in a house with that briefcase. So I hope the story of briefcase, what the briefcase is having and what the two thieves had done in the past 10 days is clear to you. Now they robbed a bank, they stole $300,000 from the bank, and now they were in search of a place where they could stay and keep themselves safe with their briefcase. Listen, said Hasty. The first thing we have to do is to buy a car. Now, as they had to leave the car during the chasing with the police, they decided to buy a car. We have to do it as soon as we can. It would be too dangerous to steal one and ride away in it. Now, they don't want to steal any car because it would be dangerous for them to steal the car and ride on it. They want to buy a new car for themselves as soon as possible. We must buy one for our own. And for that, we have to wait until some car agency opens in the town. It means we have to stay here and wait till about 8 o'clock in the morning, because for to buy a car they need to go to the car agency, and car agency will open at 8 o'clock in the morning. So Hasty said we have to stay here means stay in this house till 8 o'clock in the morning. But what are we going to do with that? Asked Blackie, pointing to the briefcase.